Hello, LIMS community and lab heads. My name is Philip. I'm the CEO and co-founder of OneLIMS, and I want to show you how easy it is to transform your laboratory from a data mess by using paper and Excel into a laboratory data powerhouse. So welcome to our webinar today about From Data Chaos to Digital Laboratory. A warm welcome from my side. So let's get started. First of all, we record this session for quality reasons and also to share it within the laboratory digitalization and transformation community group. If you have any kind of questions, just throw it in the comment section, and we will be answer these questions at the end of our session today. Otherwise, our team will answer it directly to you by mail. If you want to have the slides, which I'm going to show you today, just let me know. Write an email with the request at hello@onelims.com, and I can forward to you the slides. Let's hop into today's topics. So first of all, I want to share the most common lab challenges we face every day in the laboratory world. Then next point is how to start a digitalization journey, where to start and what kind of the essential pillars and key points to know how to start this lab digitalization journey. Point 3 is the basics to start, which I want to share with you, best practices from our side and also some sources of case studies and approved key metrics. So let's get into the most common problems and challenges, hurdles we see, and I think also some of you, based on the exchanges in the community, which we face in the laboratory. So very common and all good known is the good old raw data sheet based on paper notes, calculations, and all the copy and paste stuff. Even some advanced users of LIMS, they're still printing out their raw data sheets manually, write down their results, their measurements, calculates some ridiculous numbers on the paper, and then go into or open up the LIMS or through their smartphone or even their tablets and then enter their values. So there are kind of a lot of different forms and also progress of the digitalization journey based on your comments and also feedbacks and experience what we see out there in the laboratory quality control and quality assurance world. There's another point is the heavily system switching, that there is a bunch of different tools a lot of lab technicians have to use today. They are not only paper, they are not only Excel spreadsheets, there are the ERP system, there are MES system for production, there are maybe some kind of status information in the logistics system, or some access database, or a QMS system, whatever. You name it and know what I mean. So there are a lot of skills needed and a lot of different tools today because of the organically grown of the company. And then based on the different challenges, they introduced and implemented different tools. And at a certain point, there is no need for a 10th tool, which is just focusing on handling the laboratory data. Maybe then there is the point to make a stop to assess, analyze the status quo, the current state, and decide or evaluate first, and then decide what will be the best next step, maybe to get rid of some redundant tools and implement one bigger tool, which has a lot of more functionality and is easier adaptable to the internal processes. But about this, more information in the next step. The second big challenge is the complex sample management, sample processes, device management, and also the data handling. Overall, the administrative work, the unproductive work, where a lot of lab technicians burn time, and also for the quality management, or even all overall look for the company burning some money. And we have at the end the famous Excel spreadsheets. They're all over the world being used, heavily used. And one of the biggest myths to get rid of in laboratories, because a lot of laboratories, a lot of data, quality data in a lot of manufacturing companies are really built on quality data, which are managed in spreadsheets. And my follow-up questions about this is, can I be pretty sure and can I trust those data or those data in these spreadsheets? How can I make sure that they are not manipulated? Is there any kind of traceability within this data? And my lovely question, where can I find this specific result of this batch or lot number of this article or product? So there are kind of a bunch of questions. Maybe you heard them from auditors during some audits, but we ask them in our regular workshops, and we had already some experience. It took more than 2 days to get answers to some specific questions about article analyzed results, and this is ridiculous. So the time and the effort which is needed is out of every kind of money that the company is earning. So there is a fourth point, which is not that so much common in the food industry, but in some other segments of material science and life sciences, biotechnology, and in the pharma or in the chemical raw material manufacturing industry, so that there are kind of a heterogeneous zoo of different kind of devices, and they held silent data, which are, from my point of view as a lab technician, every quality data and laboratory data is pure gold. If it's traceable, if it's has locked all the metadata to it, and I know where it's coming from and what kind of the history of this data, and if it's in a proper format that I can use for example, for advanced analytics or even AI in today's laboratory world to make faster and better decisions. But this is also kind of a bigger challenge, to have interfaces and specific connectivities into one single system, like LIMS, from directly from these devices. And we get a lot of questions about what kind of tool do we need and how we start the digitalization journey. And our approach, and always my answer, is always it's important, is very, very important to think of the processes first that you want to digitalize. Think of the process as a step-by-step framework. We use sometimes in workshops the value stream map to visualize the value of each of the main processes, or even a SIPOC is the stakeholder input, process, output, customer process map, where we generate together in an interactive workshop, mostly on site together with the lab team and our customers, to see and visualize and get into these processes step by step and align all the responsible people on that. And there is also a myth in the head of a lot of transformation and digitalization guys. They think that there is only one tool we can implement and then we get rid of all our problems. And that's not really the truth and also not the case. So first things first is what kind of processes and workflows we want to digitalize. This is the key question to find out which workflows brings the most value and which workflows needs the most of the time. So that means the most added value workflows should be taken in consideration, and the routine workflows, kind of the donkey work, which just brings paperwork or copy and paste work, is just pure effort, but not that much added value to the workflow or at the end to the laboratory and the company itself. Nevertheless, to say, we show this kind of graph to demonstrate what's kind of the impact of just pure digitization. So think of your complex error-prone workflow that you want to digitalize, and you start to digitalizing this. There can be more automation in this process, but to get a step back and think of what's kind of the purpose and the goal of this process. Can we streamline it? Can we make it even shorter? Is this kind of the best way how we can deal with this workshop, with this work flow? Or is there any kind of better way to reduce the complexity or reduce the errors in these several work steps? And this is a pretty good question, because afterwards we think of this process optimization before we touch any kind of tool or software or digital solution. And then we analyze and assess step by step this workflow. And then after the streamlining and the optimization of the process, we start to digitalize the workflow. And then there is added value in two dimensions, in efficiency and in effectiveness. And this will be a long-term sustainable improvement and added value to this lab team, because there are less donkey work, less annoying work they have to do, and the main processes are much, much faster and reliable, much more reliable on them. So the team is happy and they reach their goal much faster. And what we do with this spare time that we gain through this process optimization and then digitalization of the laboratory and quality workflows. Next, our methodology, how we proceed, is already explained in this last chart. So I want to have a short recap. First step is needed and is necessary is the assessment of the current state based on the quantification of the laboratory quality and company KPIs, which are related or important to them, and also to create the process map to understand how the workflow is working, what's kind of the format, what's the goal, and what's the communication ways, and who's the responsible people within these workflows, what's the touch points. And this brings all information 360 degrees on one page and align all the responsible and included people to get a better understanding. And also the commitment is much higher if we start with an assessment and the understanding of the same basics, and everyone is included and responsible, because the outcome will be the optimized workflows and processes internal in the company, and everyone feels heard and everyone feels included. And that's why the commitment is much, much higher. And also, this equals the success rate of the digitalization project. A digitalization project in specifically that case is not determined by a timeline. Digitalization and the overall term of transformation is not within a time frame and doesn't have a specific goal. We can create milestones and we have to define milestones, but it starts by wanting a change. That means it starts with the right mindset. And this is the basics we're talking also in our lab check workshops together with a team to identify early adapters and identify also leaders, which is necessary and crucial to lead this digitalization project to a success. After optimization, we are starting to onboard. This will be a technical alignment and also a product onboarding, where already starts the user training and the customization, the configuration of the LIMS platform. And after a user testing and also an internal validation, we start together with the clients to automate, as mentioned before, the evaluated workflows, which brings first the most added value, the most benefits, and secondly, the workflows that are the most routines or most time-consuming processes in the quality and laboratory. And last but not least, there is kind of a never-ending story. We keep supporting and guiding customers with best practice, with tools, with updates, with new tools to help them to have and create a better job in their laboratory, which is more faster, more safer, and brings more efficiency to the team and at the end to the company itself. So what kind of the goals of the lab check? Let me get into this very quick. So we have understanding of the quality and laboratory processes with the traceability of the outcomes. We have recognizing the risks and opportunities for processes, data, and also for the team. And at the end, to detect and evaluate the advantages of an added value through digitalization with the opportunities of LIMS. It not always has to be LIMS. There are a variety of other solutions that can be a right fit for this situation of the laboratory or even a company. But it starts mostly with a lean, configurable LIMS that can be scaled together with the needs and the requirements of this specific laboratory/company. We want to start with just 5 modules, the kind of the basic modules. There are order and sample management. This is straightforward, and this is covering the orders, the sample tracking, sample management, and also the management of the analysis, where we can track of all the results and have also the overview of the progress and the status. Then a dashboard with advanced analytics or even data analytics to have charts, trends, and also control charts with limits to have all the necessary important KPIs on one page. Then there is the need for reporting and labeling. Labeling for sample management and reporting is specifically for creating or generating certificates of analysis, technical data sheets, purchase specifications, or even internally test plans, if there is still a need to print something and write it down and to cover all the results directly in the lab. It's not always necessary. Mostly it comes after a while of using, or if the lab is scaled or growed to multiple lab technicians and a heterogeneous zoo of different devices. Then there is the options of using a service middle layer module, which have the capability and also the benefits of a direct integration to ERP system to automate handling of master data like article data, and also send the results or even the status of different lots and batches back to the master system. There's also the possibility to have direct integration to devices, which makes it much easier to send a request to a device and then get just the result back in the LIMS, can validate it, create a report, and done. So this is very easy to handle then. Or the third integration possibility is if there is a need for a lot of external analysis, for example, environmental monitoring, microbiology analytics, or pesticides analytics. We provide also the possibility to have a specific integration to the service labs. We have partnerships with a couple of service labs around Europe, and all of our OneLIMS customers are benefits from this direct integration to send digitally or easily saying the request to the service lab, then sends a sample, the physical sample, and get the result much faster back than the PDF report at the end. And the last point, the fifth basic module, is the master data management to handle without any kind of integration all the contacts, all the articles, the test units or test methods, and also the test plans with versioning, change control. And for sure, all of these modules are covered by Audit Trail. If we're talking about specifically LIMS in quality control, quality assurance, what kind of the hard facts of the improvements? So based on our studies and also the feedbacks from our customers, there can be a 78% error minimization by standardizing and centralizing data management to have it all in one place. There is a chance and a possibility to increase the sample throughput about a third. So 33% more samples with the same amount of employees and time by just digitalizing it and automating sample management and sample processing. And at the end, this leads to saving costs by risk-based decisions, reduced test plans, no double conductions or other kind of costs that are filled through the gaps or filled through the controlling of the overall laboratory work by streamlining and automating the risk-based lab workflows. Saving, that means 45% in analysis costs, quality control, and quality assurance costs. All right, how does a holistic quality ecosystem can look like? If this could be your goal within the next 3, 5, or even 7 years. So this will be all on cloud. You can integrate it directly into existing devices and keep track of all your samples and know where the samples are right now in real time in your company. You have to take in-process control, maybe directly from the production. You have batch control over the whole production by tracking temperature, pressure, throughput, and put all of this data directly to your quality data of the lot that gets produced, and send it further and enrich it with your ERP data. Also included the service labs, where you can automatically create test plans and send them to have specifically tests based on your regularly or even temporarily test plans. Have chemicals tracked, have devices tracked, have everything in one place, centralized, managed. Third-party apps, maybe there are some other databases or maybe some device tools that you want to use and have silent data, which are important to keep track of at the end of the quality of the product or the production of the product at the end. Also put them together, enrich them, and use it for faster, more reliable, and better decisions about your quality. And at the end, you can search for it through all the important information based on an audit. For example, one-click traceability for a batch to know what's happened and where you get and gather your information from. And this is kind of the one-stop shop for your overall quality information in your manufacturing site or in your company. If you want to know more about this specific information about laboratory and quality digitalization and automation, just check out our case studies on our website. We have a lot of different customers based on different industries. So it's worth it to take a couple of minutes to view through or fly through these different case studies and also blogs for industry solutions like food and beverage or material testing or even environmental laboratories. And at the end, if you don't know where to start, we provide a fitness lab digitalization test. Scan it, takes 10 minutes. You have max 10 minutes. You have roughly 10 questions. It depends a little bit on your current state, and evaluate and get directly and specifically created action plan just for you with an evaluation. And if you need more, just book a call for 50 minutes and we can talk to find out what's your current state, what kind of your requirements you have, and what's your future state. And with this information, we can already put together a guide for you, a personalized guide with action plan, a cost indication, and also a roadmap with timeline to know what to do and when to do it, specifically created based on your requirements and current state. Good. To close this, I just want to go directly into our system and want to show you how easy it is to keep track on your samples and also on your lab information and how it works. So we can directly start on a fresh side. Let's log in on our OneLIMS platform and start directly. First, saw on the dashboard all the important information that we need to have it here on one side. That's the most important information to know. Let's shift it over here. So to start very quick, we are here in the master data. We have all the important informations directly here if we don't have any kind of interfaces or integrations. So can handle directly all the basic information which the lab is using and built on directly in OneLIMS. Contacts, articles, article data, test methods, and then create test plans. We can look into test methods. It's kind of a library of all the test methods the laboratory is providing and using, conducting internally and also externally. And this can be then already linked to a specific article or even to a material type group. Or we can just create it as a library, as a standard test method. And afterwards, if we can create or created these test methods, we put them together into a test plan specifically for an article. What that means is we have here, for instance, an article name is called water. This is kind of a water manufacturing company who is producing water bottles or filling water bottles. And this is just a random example which we prepared for the demo today. So, and we put together the different test methods to make sure this is based on our test plan and our product, what we want to test in a dynamically test plan based on our production. And if we open up this test plan, we can see we have here, for example, different test methods like the taste, like the color, the appearance, the order, the content, and also the pH. And we have the specification for each of these test methods. And we have kind of a dynamic interval configuration that we are using in here. And you see also the different categories of these test methods. This is kind of the preparation which we are doing together with our customers during the onboarding. This is something very important and crucial to have the master data right, to have your data cleaned up and correctly imported in the architecture of the OneLIMS platform. This is roughly done within a month to start already to onboard users, to start with the user trainings, and also to start with the configuration and customization of the platform. So this is pretty quick win to do. And then let's go directly into the main workflow as the sample management. Here we have kind of two overviews about the analysis and also the orders. Let's start with the orders. So I can create a quality control or quality assurance order. Depends on what I want to conduct and what kind on our routine test plan. Let's create a new order directly. These are kind of the basics field that we provide in the OneLIMS platform. We can open up a contact or can add a contact. We're using OneLIMS. We have already a contact person. That's the responsible person gets notified or informed, want to have the reports at the end, or if there is something suspicious, a kind of out of specification result, this person get notified. I can also add multiple person if it's necessary. And then next point is to add the analysis. I want to add where I get sample from. Is it from production? Is it from R&D? So I want to add directly from the in-process control from the production and what kind of material type we have. We are analyzing right now a water sample based on raw material product category. And then we have an article which is related to this material type. I want to use the water article, or I got into the laboratory from the production, the water sample, and now I have here linked directly this water testing test plan. What's in there exactly? We discussed it already before or mentioned, the taste, the color, appearance, and so far. Then we can add also some even more data. We have maybe an express sample because the production is running, so it should be done immediately. We have a batch number. Let me take in 555 from production line 3. Production time is right now 05 minutes. I can also attach some different documents or take a screenshot if the sample is broken or spilled over or something like that. So I save this. I got one sample. Very easy and quick. I can just create here using different profiles my QR code with all the necessary information, and I can scan it and get directly to the order information. And then within the next step, we keep going with the analysis directly. So I'm starting my conduction by the sensoric. I tasted, and there is some specifications with tasteless. This should be conform. Then we have to clear the color. The appearance is colorless, should be fine. The order is orderless, it's water, nothing indeed. The content, don't know what to do here. would be kind of any content, ozone content or H2 content. But for today, I'm not conducting this content based on risk-based. Can also add a comment based on risk. And then we have the pH. This is a double iteration. Want to measure this twice with 7.45 and 7.52. And at the end, we have here an average calculation of a double iteration conforming with 7.5 in range. So I want to save this directly, and it changes the status from open to in ready for validation. So with the right permission and as also a lab manager, I can approve this right now. So it's conform for me. I can save it, can check again, everything is fine, and then I can forward this directly based on my template, forward this directly to the responsible person, or I can download it and save it on our internal share file, SharePoint, whatever, our internal system. Everything looks good. Also, electronic signature. There is some different kind of values on here. Also, the coloring or even the template can be adapted. At the end, the validation result is conform, so everything is fine for that. That's kind of a very quick overview of this very lean and straightforward sample management workflow and also quality control or quality assurance workflow. There can be a lot of different configurations or customization based on the company's specific or laboratory specific requirements. If you want to have specifically some questions or want to have a personalized demo, just also send us a request on hello@onelimbs.com. For now, I want to stop here and just want to go back to our final or at the end of our presentation today. Want to say thank you for all the attention and also your time. It was always a pleasure to show you some features and also how easy it is to implement and use a proper tool which is specifically made and created for the challenges in modern quality control, quality assurance laboratories in manufacturing industries. So from that point and from our team, want to say thank you very much for participating today. I'm looking very forward to our next event and would be a pleasure to meet you and see you again, hopefully one time physically on a lab event or then again online. Wish you a great evening and all the best to you. Have a great lab work and keep up